Hey, welcome to Two Blurred Girls. I'm Tamika, and this is my firecracker co-host Tamara, which
Yeah.
we will get into the show later on about what has gotten Tamara heated. So stay tuned.
I just want to bop
Um,
your head with this thing.
you guys
Excuse me,
stay
I got
tuned.
this from Japan. I just want.
You guys stay tuned. You guys stay tuned so you know why Tamara's heated.
I wish this had liquor in it.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
You know. But yeah,
I'm back,
even
first of
though
all.
we're doing okay, yeah. Welcome back, Tamara. We missed you last Friday.
Yeah.
Welcome
Sorry
back.
about that, y'all. I had to take a
No, it's
break.
life. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, we're back, and we're gonna get into episode 5 of
Mm-hmm.
Moon Knight, which is called Asylum.
Ah.
So, quick recap. Episode 4. I'm not gonna go fully into episode 4 recap, but basically 5 takes place after the events of Mark/Steven were shot by
Mhm.
Arthur Harrow,
Mhm.
that jerkwad, and, and then Steven fell into like this underworld transition, like
Mhm.
purgatory. Then he ended up in a sane asylum. So
Mhm.
everybody's been wondering, is this real? Is he dead? What's going on?
Can I
Uh,
just say something really
yeah.
quick? It was like basically a reference of a comic um that's out on Amazon because I got a sample of it,
Mm.
and it's like Moon Knight in an asylum, basically. So that's what that part came from that.
Yeah, and also in this episode, episode 5, in one of the rooms that he goes into, which I'll explain later, there's also a QR code
Mhm.
for the origin story. So in
Mhm.
every episode, look for the QR codes because you can
Mhm.
scan them with your phone to read the comics
Yeah.
of Moon Knight.
Yeah.
But
Which is
yeah,
a good read, I think.
I want
So
to read that. Yeah,
yeah. Actually, I only read the sample and now I want to get it again, but I gotta wait till I get paid
me
to
too.
actually read it.
Damn Moon Knight.
Yeah, I
But
know.
yeah, so Mark/Steven are trying to find a way out and figure out where they are. Then
Mhm.
they meet Tower Wet, which that's what I'm gonna call her today. And then she's like, "Hi," and then the whole internet freaked out, like, "Oh my god, who is this?" And my
And we have a
supervisor,
hippopotamus song by
yeah,
Isaac.
my supervisor was like, "What the fuck?" And that's where we open from episode 5 with
Mhm.
Towelette introducing herself. She's like, "Hey, how y'all doing? I'm the goddess, Egyptian goddess, blah, blah, blah. Here to introduce you to the underworld. Welcome.
Mhm.
Yay."
Yay.
And basically, um, they, to be judged properly, because I think she told them they're dead,
Yeah,
but
she did
to
tell them
be
that they're
judged properly, their souls have not souls, heart has to be balanced on the Egyptian scale,
dead.
which is
Mhm.
part of the afterlife ritual, where
Mhm.
a heart is on one of the scales, which you can probably see in our, well, not for our audio audience, but the background behind us shows that on one part of the scale is a heart and on the other is the feather. So if you're
Mhm.
balanced, if the heart and the feather are balanced, you get to go further, I guess, with Osiris in
Mhm.
the further into the underworld to the field of reeds, kind of like heaven. But if
Mhm.
it's unbalanced, then you basically get pitched off the boat. The
And your
passage
soul will
boat.
live there forever.
Yeah, yeah, and then you become like a sand zombie, basically.
Mhm.
But
Basically, that's their form of hell, basically.
yes. So Mark/Steven has to go through all these core memories of the past to find peace and balance, basically.
Mhm.
So what
Basically.
stood out to you?
I just thought it was interesting where they They went into the room of where you see all these dead people.
Oh yeah.
Also see the scale in
Mhm.
there, and the
Mhm.
scale is just like just going back and forth, but it's slowly moving.
Mhm.
And Mark was naming all the people that were killed that were in that room. And Stephen asked him, he's like, "So did you kill?" And he thought, in Stephen's mind, he thought those people were innocent. But Mark said, no, they weren't innocent. These are the people that Kinshu told me to do, what to do. And he said that basically he was trying to convince them to make him not do it, aka let them sacrifice himself so he won't have to kill these people. But it seems like him killing those people, it bothered him pretty
Mm.
much. And then all of a sudden you see a child back there. And then in Steven's mind, he's thinking that Mark killed a kid, like as an adult, but it didn't happen like that. Basically, it was an accident. It was a
Mm.
childhood accident, which is really sad about what happened with him during his childhood. So it seems like it wasn't just what happened between him and Khonshu or all of the things that he did. It was basically his childhood trauma that made him for who he is, basically.
Mm.
And that's
Yeah.
why I feel like this stood out a lot for people, especially for people who have mental health, especially for people who went through with childhood trauma, like AKA abuse and all that
Mhm.
stuff. So it's just like it just hit home with a lot of people, basically.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and in that room, the first well, actually throughout the rooms that they pass, you can see
Mhm.
past scenes from the show.
Yeah.
Like
'Cause
when
you
what was it? Steven and Conchu were turning back the sky.
Yeah.
You can see
And then
that.
you
Yeah.
see Mark beating up the jackal in the bathroom.
Yes. Yes,
You
in
would,
season
and then
episode.
after when they go through all of that, it just seems like Mark goes back to see uh Arthur, aka the doctor, talking to him, and but this time he had a bloody nose.
Mhm.
So it's just like he's just going back and forth, but he thinks that it's a reality situation, but it's not. That's his what Tamara said what it was. Basically, she said this was her first time seeing a mental hospital
Mhm.
in a place like this because she's never seen it before. So it's basically when you die during the Egyptian standpoint, when you die, you're in an area where you feel like you belong to.
Mm.
So Mark felt like he belonged to a mental asylum, and Stephen was like, "Why?" And Mark had to say, "Because we're crazy."
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you really are crazy because you sometimes you talk to yourself."
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So,
like the a lot of people point out too, like it's like this ancestral plane, like
yeah.
with Black Panther, how he went somewhere when he was, I guess, on the edge of death, and then he
Mhm.
went to his ancestral plane. It's kind
Mhm.
of like some afterlife type of thing where you're just I like to call it purgatory. That's what
Basically.
it looks like. And
Yeah.
you're just this is your form of purgatory, your form of the ancestral plane, like as you're traveling through before you
Mhm.
get to your final judgment
Mm,
destination.
mhm.
Like you were saying with Mark, this is his quote unquote ancestral plane, which I'm assuming because like Mark is Jewish and they bring it up for the first time in this series. And you would
Yeah.
think, what does the Egyptian ancestral plane or a mental institution or whatever have to do with somebody that's Jewish? But I'm
Mhm.
assuming because Mark took on Khonshu and he
Mhm.
became part of essence of him and he's an
Yeah.
Egyptian god, then he has to go through the same passage, like the underworld passage, the
I
Egyptian
kind of
underworld
want to
passage.
kind of want to see if he's mixed with Jewish and something.
Oh, like
I just-
in Moon Knight. Well,
Yeah.
what I remember in the comments is just he's a son of a Jewish rabbi.
Mhm. Yep, he's a
Yeah.
son of the Jewish rabbi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, son of a Jewish rabbi. Something about a boxer. I think maybe he used to be a
Okay,
boxer or something.
so yeah, his dad was a Jewish rabbi who survived Nazi persecution.
Hmm.
Let me see about. I don't see anything about his mom.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think. I think they took some liberties there with the mom,
Mhm.
but they don't really mention. I don't know if they mention her in the comments. I haven't read the comments. I've just read like just caught up here and there
Mhm.
on it.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I that's all I know so far.
Mhm.
But like I said, the comic in itself, this context is interesting. That
Yeah.
he would choose a Egyptian god, which I think that goes against the Jewish religion. So it's interesting how he just kind of chose that path.
Right.
But
I wonder when they created this comic book.
yeah,
I wonder because was what's his name? I think it when they created the comic book. I wonder if the people who created the comic book they're Jewish, basically.
oh, that's a good question. I don't know. You could probably look it up. But I don't know if they're Jewish or not, or they kind of thought, hey, this would be cool to just,
Mhm.
have um, a Jewish superhero.
Mhm. Sometimes
Because I
it makes
mean,
me
yeah,
wonder.
because like with Superman, the creators of Superman were Jewish, and they
Mhm.
were going based off of their experience.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's something to think about. But yeah, like going back to what you were talking about, like when Mark and Steven entered the room, it was like all the people he killed, and
Mhm.
they were zombified.
Mhm.
None of them moved; they were just still, like very
Mhm.
soulless, and the room was very dark. Um,
Mhm.
and you look at all those people, like, dang, killed a lot of people. This like half the population. It looks like
It was it did look like it was half a
it did
population,
look like half the
but the thing is
population.
he was a mercenary, so
Yeah, yeah, and like you said, you don't really think about the people you kill. Like you
mm-mm.
don't have time to think, I killed this many people.
Mhm.
But yeah, he killed that many people. And you were talking about the kid, and I thought too at first, I was like, oh my God, I killed a kid too. And I was thinking, well, maybe the kid got shot by a stray bullet. That's what
Mm-mm.
I thought at first. And then
Mhm.
they were running after the kid, and I was like, okay, where is he going?
Mhm.
And then we find out that, the kid is probably Mark's brother, but
Yeah.
it goes into like Mark's childhood from there.
Mhm.
You know.
Which I think is interesting. This is my thing. I guess they're not gonna talk about, you know, his brother, but I just read information about Moon Knight. Okay, so Mark did have a brother. His brother was name was Randall, but his brother became a missionary as well,
Oh,
and he was driven by bloodlust.
hmm.
And then, but the thing is that Randall killed Mark's girlfriend Lisa.
What?
Yeah, and then Randall became Shadow Knight. So Shadow Knight
Oh,
is a fictional supervillain appearing in American comic books published by, and he's a nemesis of his elder brother, the superhero Moon Knight. So that's
oh,
why I'm surprised that they killed off his brother because he's Shadow Knight.
interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless they're
I'm
bring him back
really.
from the dead.
They could.
Mhm.
It's really interesting how they, what you read in the comics, and it's so deep. You know,
Mhm.
like the trauma, they just base it off childhood trauma.
Mhm.
Like his mom's abusive. And I think
Mhm.
in the comics it was a lot more bloodier that
Mhm.
caused Mark to get triggered. I think he saw somebody get murdered or something,
Or
but
something.
you
Yeah.
can read the comics. But yeah, they were chasing the boy, and I like the transition of the scenes. It
Mhm.
it really does look like you're going through a memory. You know, it's
Mhm.
like you're in one place and then you transition to another place like a memory.
Mhm.
Then you see Mark's brother, Randall, and
Mhm.
he's, making they're at a barbecue. And the mom at first, you're like, oh wow, this is a nice barbecue. What a nice family. The brothers are squabbling a little bit.
Mhm.
He's yelling at his mom, later Gator. His mom's
Mhm.
like, be home by supper or whatever. It's very leave it to Beaver type
Mhm.
for me.
Yeah, because the thing is like it kind of brings back to the first episode. Remember when he was on the phone and he says
Mhm.
later Gators?
Yes.
Yeah, I hated when he said that. But anyways, when he said that
Ah,
and then all of a sudden then in this episode you hear them saying the same exact thing.
yeah.
It's just like, oh. And then the funny thing is that Steven remembers her as mom, but he doesn't remember Randall.
Mhm. Yeah, I
He
didn't
was
even know
like,
he had a brother.
he's
Yeah.
like, when did I have a brother? And then Mark was like, he didn't, it just seems like Mark was trying to erase that because
Mhm.
that was his trauma, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and later on, the kids are going in a cave,
Hmm.
and I don't know how deep this cave is, but you never see them go out.
No.
And I think Eric from New Rockstar is pointing out that like a lot of times with trauma, you kind of get stuck in that past,
Hmm.
that traumatic past, and you
Hmm.
don't come out. So
Hmm.
you're kind of stuck in that moment. So
Hmm.
yeah, Mark was really stuck in that moment,
Yeah.
because what happened was that it was a heavy rainstorm, and basically they were trapped in a cave, and then Mark's brother was got drowned in the cave
Hmm.
and couldn't save him.
Hmm.
And long story short, the mom blamed Mark for killing her son, which it wasn't
Youngest,
his fault. Yeah, wasn't his fault.
she said, it's your fault. It's your fault. You
Yeah.
didn't want him around you anyways. You was like the oldest kid that didn't want your little brother. You it seems like you wanted all the attention kind of thing. And I think that's where Stephen Grant came from when all of that happened,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, it
So
was that film they watched as kids, I don't want to say Tomb Raider. It probably was Tomb Raiders. And
yeah,
that's Dr. Stephen Grant, and he's not afraid of anything. He has no fear.
no
And
fear.
even when they were going into the cave, Mark did that British accent, and
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, I'm
So
Dr.
did Randall
Martin."
too. They both did.
Yeah, Randall. Yeah. So they basically saw this movie. There's a
Hmm.
poster of it on their bedroom wall.
Hmm.
So you kind of get the sense that the character Stephen Grant was kind of formulating.
Yeah, and
It's
that's the
kind of
thing is
like how you would do Indiana Jones.
like,
Like
mhm.
you're Indiana Jones, and I don't know who I am. Maybe
Yeah,
the kid. Mhm.
because it's kind of interesting though that they did that because again,
Mhm.
like with episode 4, when he went to the asylum, you see there's a video, like all of a sudden you see this kid coming out of the woods and we're like confused about it.
Yes.
But then you see his name saying Stephen Grant and you'd be like, hold on a second. Was it all a dream?
Yeah.
you know? And then
Exactly.
with episode 5, it explains to you more about it. So you'd be like, oh, that's what it was. Stephen Grant was from his childhood.
Yes.
Oh, okay, now I get it. They're finally putting the pieces together for us to get a better understanding of what's going on. But you know how some people are, they wanted to know now and not,
Yeah.
you know, keep sitting there waiting for it to come to them. This is the point of the story to progress. Because if it comes to you right in front of your face, then you get bored with it, you know?
Mhm.
So you get a better understanding of where Stephen came from and everything, and especially the British accent.
Mhm.
So he's not really British, he is an
Mhm.
American, but
Mhm.
his second identity is British
Mhm.
because of the movie that he used to watch,
Stephen Grant. And
Stephen Grant.
what other my other favorite scene was, when Stephen got away from Mark, and he
Mhm.
went up the stairs, and every step that he went up to, it went into a deeper core memory, and all
Mhm.
those core memories went back to Mark's birthday.
Uh-huh.
And like one of the birthdays, his mom wasn't even there. And his dad
Mm-mm.
made excuses like, "Oh, she's just tired. Let's blow out the candles." The
Mhm.
second, one of the other birthdays, she came in with her bottle of liquor, and
Mhm.
she's like, "Oh, it's your birthday again. Aren't you excited? You know who else's birthday is it? Your brother's." Oh,
Yeah.
you killed them. I'm paraphrasing, but she basically said that.
Mhm.
So,
Basically.
yeah, and and the other scene that was really good too was the young actor. And
Mhm.
I'll have to give credit to him. The young actor who played Mark when he was in the room, and then his mom was banging on the door, and you
Mhm.
hear the bangs be like really intense. She started to sound like a demon. She was like,
Yeah.
"Open the door, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom."
Boom. Yeah, and the thing is that Stephen remembers that room.
Yeah.
He says, "I remember this room, but I don't remember being, like, this dirty, though." And then all of a sudden before the mom busts the door in, you see young Mark, you see what he does with his eyes, and
Mhm.
then all of a sudden, he's talking with a British accent, and
Mhm.
that's when Stephen realized, like, "Oh, there I am," and then he didn't remember his mom beating him. He was thinking that his mom, because Mark was like, "That's not my mom. That's not my mom. That is not my mom. That is not my mom." And then that's when he turned into Stephen. And I'm just like, wow. And she just busted the door down
Mhm.
like you said, like a demon.
Mhm.
She grabbed that belt.
Mhm.
And while Stephen was cleaning, she just popped him. I'm like, how come Stephen didn't remember that? But Mark remembers, but not Stephen.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I guess Stephen is trying to be what the side that doesn't see the bad. He
Yes.
sees the good.
Yes.
But Mark, he remembers all of the things that he went through.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And the actor who played the kid, he did a good job because he showed the transition too
Mhm.
of like we were talking earlier, it's dissociative identity disorder. And that's
Mhm.
what Mark has. And me and you
Mhm.
were talking about it earlier. And I read up on it. It was previously called multiple personality disorder, but I guess they changed it to a more clinical term,
Yeah,
DID.
'cause
Um,
sometimes it was like they also have split personality disorder.
yes, yeah, they all fall in under the same name.
Mhm.
And it says it's characterized by the presence of one or more distant personalities,
Mhm.
but they all have their own personal history and characteristics. And
Mhm.
that's what happened in this scene where young Mark kind of switched. Like his eyes were rolling the back of his head. And it's kind
Mhm.
of like he mentally switched and was another personality. And he was Stephen Grant, who was
Mhm.
cleaning up and like, oh my God, it's so filthy in here. Even while she
Mhm.
was banging on the door. And like you said, Stephen was like, I don't remember this. And Mark pulls him away, like, you don't need to see this. And he's like, how come I don't remember that? And he was like, well, you were shielded from all this so that you can grow up with a good childhood, which was
Mhm.
interesting that Mark wanted to provide Stephen with a good childhood and a good
Mhm.
memory and not himself, I guess, where he
Yeah.
had one. But
So
somebody also speculated that maybe Jake was the one, the third personality. They haven't
mhm.
officially met yet. Maybe
Mm,
he was the one that was taking all the beatings from the mother.
maybe. And maybe that's the reason why he's so violent.
Yeah, and going back to what you were saying before, when because it flips, it
Mhm.
switches. Like, yeah, we're on this journey with Mark, and then all
Mhm.
of a sudden we're pulled back into the psychiatrist's office where you see Harold, not Harold,
Mhm.
the Dr. Harold.
Mhm.
And he's like, just telling him, "Hey, you're back. You're okay." And just telling him you gotta go through your feelings.
Mhm.
And you see him come back with a band-aid on his nose. And he's
Mhm.
like, and his accent changed. Like it's not Mark and it's not Steven, it's something else. It's more like a Brooklyn type
Mhm.
ballsy accent.
That
Like,
mo
yeah,
AKA Jake. But
Yeah,
it
and
seems
maybe
like
Jake.
Jake was stuck in the coffin. So how did he come out? Hi John, how did he come out during that scene? Is like Jake didn't come out at all.
Yeah, oh, sorry, I thought he was gonna pull.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know, but I just
I
noticed
wonder.
the switch, you
Yeah,
know.
I wonder if Jake, because it seems like okay, so it was Mark the first scene, but you're saying that the second scene was Jake, and then the last one was Steven.
I'm just
Because
noticing like the way they talk. Like,
yeah,
Mark has like a regular, I don't know how to say it,
Chicago accent.
American accent.
Yeah, he's from well, you
I
can't say
don't know where
Chicago.
Mark is from, but
Mark is from Chicago. He's from
Chicago, and
yeah.
Steven is British. And
Mm-hmm.
then you see this other side where with the bandaged nose, and it's more like a Brooklyn type, ballsy type guy. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
you're
funny things
Arab, right?
the funny things about Jake, he is a taxi driver.
Yeah, that's kind of how it sounded too, though, Tamara.
Mhm.
It kind of sounded like one of those tough, like, yeah, what
So
you want.
they are basically bringing Jake into the story then
Slowly, I think. Slowly.
slowly.
It's the
Because that's
speculation on the web.
yeah, because that is this person. Okay, because you remember in the scene where you remember like he blacked like it was like Mark blacked out,
Yeah.
but you thought that Mark thought it was Steven that killed those people, and
Yes.
Steven was like, it wasn't me, it was Jake.
Yeah. And they said Jake is more violent than Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the that's what they say.
Mhm. Mhm.
But yeah, yeah, we just flip. We always flip. Like basically it's like we're changing between three scenes. Like
Yeah.
you're going to Mark's core memories, right? Trying
Right.
to figure out who Mark is. And then
Mhm.
it reminds you too that you're still in the underworld. So you're still on
Mhm.
the boat that's journeying along, and then you're still reminded of that with the totem, as I like to call it, of I think that's Horus. I'm not sure. Of with the scales, trying to constantly balance the hearts of Stephen and Mark against the feather.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then you're also brought back to Dr. Harold in the psychology office, and he's just
Mhm.
trying to help Mark out, and he's just telling him, oh, we don't medicate here, and I know you watch this film, da da da, like you
Mhm.
don't know what's real, to be
No.
honest. You're just like you're clicking back and forth. The only
Mhm.
thing you know that's real is Mark's memories,
Mhm.
you know.
And the thing is that how can I say it?
Hmm.
It's like you wake up, you hear when they get into it, all of a sudden they drug him, and then when he wake up again, oh, we don't do that here. We don't drug people here. We don't hit
Hmm.
people here. And then all of a sudden, it's like he wakes up again, and he turns it to Steven.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's just like, and then that's when he was trying to kill him.
Yeah,
Before
he was like
he was Jake when he was trying to kill him.
yeah, he was like in one of the scenes, he was like, let me out, let me out, let me out, and it's Steven.
Mhm.
But going back a few, um to Steven's core memories. So we
Mhm.
talked about how he has an abusive mother. I
Mhm.
just thought about something. You remember when we reviewed not I don't want to say Boys in the Hood. Tales,
Tales from the Hood.
Tales from the Hood. You
Yes, I
remember,
remember.
and David Allen Greer played
Uh-huh.
the abusive father. I swear, when Mark's mom came in the door, that scene just popped in my head where David Allen Greer came to the door with a belt,
Yeah.
and he was the abusive father in that movie, which
Yeah.
people should go and see our review on Tales in the Hood. I
That
don't think
boys
we
in
did
the
a
Hood.
review. I
Good,
think we
y'all.
just did it on that documentary, right?
Yeah. We just did it on that documentary because I refuse to watch it again. I'm sorry. I love Tales from a Hood, don't get me wrong. It's
Yeah.
just dolls. That's my childhood trauma,
Those
basically.
dolls are
Those
crazy. Yeah.
dolls, that's why I do not have porcelain dolls in my
Mm-mm,
house.
mm-mm,
It's because of those dolls. I
mm-mm.
have stuffed animals, as you can see behind me,
Yes,
but
we
there's
see.
no porcelain dolls here.
Mm-mm. I don't have dolls, period, behind me.
I just got, I got T'Challa standing up there, sitting up
Yes.
high.
Yes, he looks
Underneath
very
him
good.
is like a gnome, and then right next to the gnome is Jack and
Sally.
Sally.
Yeah,
But
Jack and
it's
Sally.
just like I do not have porcelain dolls at all.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And
No.
the
No. What
movie,
was the name of that documentary we reviewed?
something about horror films with African about black movies.
Horror noir.
Yeah, horror noir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So go back to that video and
you will
it'll tell you.
see. You
Well,
will
it was
understand.
just basically about a documentary reviewing like African American experience in horror films and how they're portrayed. So
Mm-hmm.
go back and see that video that we did, and especially pay attention to the Tales in the Hood segment of it.
Yeah, like the
But
segment with the child abuse, basically,
yes, child
and
abuse is the theme.
yeah, that's the theme, and it's just like that's why I was saying that this episode brought home to people who had childhood trauma with child abuse, childhood trauma with accidentally deaths, childhood
Mhm.
trauma with, with people who have mental disabilities and stuff. This really hit a lot of people at heart, and everybody was just like, okay, how do we went from the hippopotamus song to this?
Tamara, you want to explain the hippopotamus song?
Basically, when you watch the end of episode 4, you see Tamara coming and it's like, hi, and she's a hippopotamus. So basically she's the god of fertility. And and there is like a video of Oscar Isaac, aka Mark Spector, and Stephen Grant and Jake Lockley. He had a guitar and he was on what's his
Ji-
name?
Jimmy Kimmel?
Jake
No,
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel
Jimmy
show.
Fallon. Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon, my bad. Jimmy Fallon. And Jimmy Fallon let him play a guitar, and Oscar had to come up with the song. So he came up with the hippopotamus song. And I played that song for Kaylin, and
Oh
she
yeah.
liked it.
Oh, good. I was gonna
Yeah.
ask how did it go?
Yeah, I was like, I sung a song and I always try to tickle her. So when he said it will grab your feet, I'll grab her foot and I'll tickle her foot, and she started laughing. And then she'll be like dancing like this. So yeah, it's a funny song, but it's like a meme going around social media, you guys. It's just so
Yeah, because people are
hilarious.
saying that should have been playing at the end of episode 4.
Yeah, it should have been.
Yeah.
The thing is like I think Oscar Isaac is an amazing actor. I don't remember him from movies. Well, actually, that's a lie because he was in the X-Men movie, but I meant
Yeah,
like without.
he was in makeup though. You couldn't
Yeah, without the makeup, you don't remember Oscar Isaac other than Star Wars,
in Dune. He was in
And
Dune. He was
yeah,
in like a lot of movies, but it's like you don't really pay attention because he's not the main character. He's
yeah,
like a character.
yeah. And the thing is like he's a good actor. He's a
He
really good.
is.
It's
He
just that movie that fucked him over, basically.
Yeah, he's a really good actor, and just this whole series, just watching him like epitomize this DID or multiple
Mhm,
personality disorder,
mhm,
especially when he was at his mom's funeral, or
mhm,
the Jewish tradition. I think it's called a shiva, but correct me if I'm wrong. Um,
mhm,
but I don't know why this is the first time they actually pointed to his Jewish heritage, but
mhm.
maybe that's another conversation.
Yeah,
And what really got me was Oscar Isaac's performance, where he was in the street and he was drinking and
mhm,
he was just outside his mom's wake or funeral, and he was just took his, I don't know, it's not a yarmulke, is it?
I don't know. I don't know
I
what
don't
that
know.
little
Whatever.
I just
Yeah,
know it's a little tiny hat that he had on his head.
yeah, it's Jewish
It's a
hat.
little
Yeah.
Jewish
If
hat that he
anybody know what it is, forgive us. But yeah, he
yeah,
took that
forgive us,
off.
we didn't know that's what it was, but he was
And
very
he just slammed it in the ground and was like just crying in agony, because he never made peace with his mom because
no.
she was always, excuse my language, she was a bitch.
Yeah,
Couldn't make peace with
basically.
her. And
He
it's just,
left basically because of
yeah,
her.
yeah. And it's this moment where he was just in agony and you can see it. And even when he was going through the memory, it was across from him. Like he was just
Uh-huh.
watching the memory. And
Yeah,
then all of a sudden,
he
Oscar
turned
Isaac does this subtle thing where he just turns his head and then he's Steven. Like
mhm,
even with the tears coming down, and he automatically picks up the phone. He's like, "Oh, mom, I'm lost. Oh boy, I'm a donut." And
mhm.
I, s- I told you this, Tamara. That freaked me out. I was like, "What?" Like
Mhm.
something inside me was shooken. Like, what? Who does that? This man is
Someone
an Oscar.
yeah, and the thing is like when he did that, that pretty much tells you that that's more of an emotional type thing
Mhm.
than anything. And also, if you notice when he was on his phone, when he turns his head around, you can see that it's a screen and it's not a
Mm.
phone. Like it's like how can I let me show you. It's like this,
Mhm.
but not like this when you're on the phone with somebody.
Yeah, it's like his
It's
locks
like
can be on
this.
the phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just picks the phone out and he'd be like, "Oh, oh dear," and you can see the screen of the phone.
Yeah. 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 I'm lost again, but I'll be there soon, mom. Later, Gators.
Mhm. He thinks and he literally thinks that he's talking to his mother, which is really sad. And then all of a sudden you've been like, he really wasn't talking to his mom. He
The
was
whole
talking
time.
on the phone for this whole time. He was not talking to his mother at all.
Yeah. And it was a shocking moment to Steven too, because he was like, I thought I was the primary, but I'm just made up. And
Yeah.
it was sad on multiple levels. Like even when
Mhm.
your own personality needs to go to therapy. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh, wait a minute, I'm made up. I'm not a real person, you
Mhm.
know? And then I think I remember Stephen was like, let me out, let me out. And that's how he met Dr. Grant. And he did point out cultural references like, oh, you look like Ned Flanders, which he did.
He
And I
did.
was like, oh man,
That's
he's right.
why you see stuff on Facebook. It says without context. You see Ned Flanders on there because
He look like Ned Flanders.
they're not gonna spoil the show other than
Uh-uh.
just showing Ned Flanders. And then when you
Yeah,
watch it, you be like, oh, now I understand Ned Flanders reference.
yeah. He's Ned Flanders. Hidey ho.
Hi,
Dilly
Dilly Ho.
dokily.
That would have been funny if he had said that.
Yeah, ugly dokily.
Ugly
Shut up, Ned.
dookily.
Mm.
That would
Oh,
have been hilarious.
but yeah, the other sad part was Mark coming to terms with that his mom was dead.
Yeah.
No, not Mark, but Steven,
Yeah.
which was weird in itself. Cause he was like, okay, I'm gonna call your mom.
And he picks up
Um,
the phone
yeah.
and he acts like he's talking to the receptionist. And then he's like, "Here, your mom's on the phone." And he's
Hmm.
like, "No, no, she didn't want to be." He's like, "Here you go." And then all of a sudden, they just zoom in on the phone, and you hear the dial tone.
Hmm.
And I'm like, "Damn."
Yeah. And then he's like, my mom's dead, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, she is.
It's like, oh, you just want to be like, "Oh, my heart," but I don't feel I. The thing is like Steven didn't know his mom was abusive to him.
Yeah.
He was just sad though, you
Hmm.
know. But Mark, he was abused. He's like, mom wasn't a good person. She was an abusive person.
Hmm.
And he didn't want Steven to see that.
Mm-mm. No. And in a sense, Steven became his brother too, like a
Yeah.
replacement for his brother. And
Yeah.
he wanted to protect Steven. And he's
Mhm.
like, no, you didn't want to see mom like that. And what
Mm-mm.
was nice was Steven actually went to Mark and said, it's not your fault. You know,
Mm-mm.
So they both were reconciling each other, and the more that they came to terms with each memory, the more the scale like slowly like tried to balance itself.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't doing the chaotic thing. It was like just slowly trying to find a balance. And they were
Mhm.
getting close to that balance too.
Mhm. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I kind of cried. I cried a little bit on the inside, and I wanted to jump in there to beat the shit out of her, but I didn't. So I'm
Mhm.
good.
Mhm. Yeah, I think a lot of people wanted to.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying it's all your fault to a
Yeah.
kid, and it's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not his fault. It was an accident.
I don't know why, and this is way out of left field.
Mhm.
That that scene reminded me of the movie Ray with
Mhm.
Jamie Foxx. I don't want to know
Yeah.
say Jamie Lee Fox. Jamie Foxx. He was playing Ray in spoiler alert in Ray. His brother. There was an accidental drowning in a sense too. His brother fell back in a bathtub.
Mhm.
And then the mom's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah. And
So there
she
was
pulled.
trauma with that too.
Yeah, but he went blind. He had childhood blindness too, but not because of that. But yeah, and the sad
Yeah.
thing is that Ray Charles' mom, she didn't abuse him a lot. Like from what they did in the movie, I don't think she abused him as they were talking about it. But with Mark, it's just like you just felt so bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's like ah.
Yeah, I think it too, John. John said it triggered his own childhood trauma. I think it triggered a lot of people's trauma. I don't know
Yeah,
if they should have put a disclaimer like this episode may trigger any childhood traumas.
they
Um,
probably would put it on that like later on, like um after this.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
next week you probably would see the disclaimer before it starts
well, we
because
didn't
a lot.
know,
No, I'm
Yeah,
just saying like next week they will because people didn't know when
yeah,
the movie when the episode 5 came out, people didn't know it
mhm,
was gonna be so an emotional episode. So
mhm,
maybe next week they're gonna put something in there to say this might trigger some people. There's some
yeah,
scenes that trigger people, you know.
yeah. Yeah. Oh
So
goodness. Yeah, I hope it sent more people to therapy because
yeah.
I felt like even with Harold, and it kind of tricked me too
Mhm.
because I was thinking, okay, he made all this up in his head, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'm thinking Harold is using some type of spell from Ahmed or somewhere where he's putting him in this alternate reality and he's in a psych ward. You know, that's what I think because it's a key word he said. Like
Mhm.
I forgot what he said. It's some key word he said that made me doubt that
Mhm.
this wasn't real.
I still say like Terror said, it's this like you're dead and you're basically in purgatory.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I do believe that Mark is dying.
mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Even
Mark
throughout the episode, like toward the end,
mhm.
um, the souls were falling out the sky, which means that Harold was successful and he
Mhm.
unleashed Amit.
Mhm.
And they were falling out the sky, so they weren't going through the traditional judgment period,
Yeah.
which towel wet is over, and
Mhm.
they're just going straight down to hell,
Mhm.
hell sands of hell, or whatever you want to call it. And these
Mhm.
hellish monsters come and they're just like attacking Mark, and Steven fights them off, and then somehow Steven is overboard.
Mhm.
It was really sad. Another heartbreaking scene was Steven was in the sand, and you're
Mhm.
thinking, "Oh, he can catch up to the boat. Run,
Nope.
Steven, run!" But he can't. It's like
Couldn't.
it turns him into cement,
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, it hurt."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's gone.
yeah,
And we're like, no.
yeah. He's like, "Steven, Steven." And it's another trauma for Mark, because
Yeah.
it's like I lost my brother all over again.
Mhm. Poor Mark. You just
But
wanna give him a hug or
for
something.
some reason, the scales balanced. I don't know if it was he let go of that part of him, but that I don't know. That pissed me off because I was like, well, that part of him is a good part of him. Yeah, I don't know how the scales just magically balance. Like, oh, you let go of everything. I'm like,
Mm,
okay, can it be like a beautiful mind where he just
yeah.
embraced all his personalities and the ghosts or whatever and said they don't bother me anymore? You
Mhm.
know,
But they didn't do it like that.
no, they didn't, which makes me wonder what's the fate of Steven? Is this the end? Like, won't see no
Well,
more Steven?
a lot of people have theories, and I just hope they don't do this because you cannot get rid of Mark when they're like, I don't know, but there's a lot of theories out there that saying that Oscar Isaac didn't sign another contract, meaning that the lady who plays as Layla will be the next Moon Knight. But I'm just like, but that's not fair. I can understand if you did some movies about Moon Knight and she can come along too, but I don't know. I just like I just don't feel like that's fair. just
Yeah. And the way they left it, it was like,
that's
you know,
just not fair. You
it
can't
the
just
scales balanced, and then he met Osiris,
uh-huh.
and then he went to the field of reeds, which is like heaven,
Mhm.
but he didn't seem thrilled, which,
No.
like us, we weren't thrilled.
Yeah, a lot of us weren't thrilled. It's like we need to get a better understanding. Now I can understand if they had both because there is a female Moon Knight. There is
Mhm.
one. But it's just like I want to know more. I want to stick with Mark. Then you can go to Layla.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you wanted this to be concluded
Yeah,
properly and
properly.
then
Because
introduce Layla. Yeah,
yeah, she
I
can come in
understand.
there and be a badass and kick people's asses all she want to, but Mark, then her.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I don't think they I don't know, I guess we can talk about our theories, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they will do it that way, which I hope they don't. I
Yeah.
think Oscar Isaac or playing Mark slash Steven they have more to do. Like there's more to explain.
Yeah, because the thing is like maybe he didn't sign the contract. This is what they did. Like again, it's just speculation. I don't
Yeah.
know if he did or not, but maybe he didn't sign it because he wanted to see where the show go. Because it
Mhm.
doesn't make any sense for continuing on with something that you don't know how far the show will go. You
Mhm.
know. So just say the show is successful, which I think is really good because a lot of people talk about it and they're saying it's really good. Then he's gonna probably gonna sign another contract and say, "Yeah, I'll do a movie about Moon Knight."
Yeah.
You'll see more about Moon Knight. You might see Shadow Knight. Who knows? You
Yeah,
know?
that's why I say I think that they'll continue it and maybe
Mhm.
they'll introduce Shadow Knight and then you can bring Layla somewhere in there somewhere.
Yeah, she can fight along with Mark.
That's
Shoot.
it, Moon Knight. I don't care what she is.
Yeah, she can be Miss Moon Knight,
Yeah,
whatever her name
whatever
is,
you
all
want to
that
be.
stuff, the female version. She can like kick ass. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Oh, there's one part we left out I wanted to talk about. And it was going through Mark's transition into meeting Conchu.
Mhm.
You know how he went through the desert, and that's what's talked about in the comics too. You know, like in
Mhm.
the comics, Mark Spector is on a mercenary mission, and Bushman, the guy that hired him, wants to kill all the archaeologists, and
Mhm.
Mark's like, "Hey, I'm not cool with that." All of a sudden, and he tries to kill Bushman or whatever. Bushman shoots him. Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
In the comics, he's wandering through the desert. People come and take Mark and bring him to the temple of
Mhm.
Khonshu. Um, but yeah, in this, they kind of got straight to the point.
Mhm.
Like he wandered in the desert in the series
Mhm.
briefly, and then he goes into the temple of Khonshu, and he's laying there, right? The statue is above him, talking to him.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, you have a fractured mind. You're a perfect candidate. And like
Mhm.
Stephen was saying, Khonshu was preying on you.
Yep.
He's it didn't save your life. this man was already mentally broken with Conchu knew. And he's
Uh,
like, oh, your mind's fractured. You'll be a worthy candidate. Be my fighter against injustice.
mm-hmm.
So, it's like Harold is a villain, and since Conchu is a twisted villain too.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. You'd be like, damn, that's fucked up, Conchu. You just went
Yeah,
after him.
like
He's trying to kill himself.
yeah,
Damn.
like I get it. Like we were on Conchu's side. Some people probably still are. We were on
Yeah.
Conchu's side, against the other gods. And he's like, no, I didn't abandon humanity. You guys did.
Mm-hmm.
He's like that lone god that was fighting for humanity and injustice. But to
Mm-hmm.
prey on a broken man,
Mm-hmm.
jeez. Not even to like, oh, I can save your life, and then you can have your life can be repurposed to fight evil. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, your mind's broken. Oh, let me infiltrate it further.
Yeah, but I'm gonna make you like immortal, so
Yeah,
you can.
yeah. Are you gonna be my Moon Knight or not?
And he's like, "Yeah, I'll become your Moon Knight," and then
Yeah,
he lives eternal life. He doesn't die.
it's like, yeah, I guess I'll be a Moon Knight. I have no other choice.
He's like, I don't know.
I don't
I
really want
Because he was
to.
trying to kill himself. Because the thing
Yeah.
is, it's like Steven, he was thinking that Mark did all the killings, but come to find out, it wasn't Mark. It was somebody else. Because you see that Mark got shot himself,
Hmm. Hmm.
and he was just he was crying to Conchu. So that tells you that there's going to be another villain
Yeah.
that Mark has to fight.
Yeah. Yeah, because throughout the series, Mark was like, no, Conchu saved our lives. We just owe him this debt. And I knew something was kind of off about Conchu,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, okay, yeah, maybe he saved his life. But this part, I was like, he just needed to stay in that stone temple. We don't need him.
Mm-hmm. I was like, he kind of basically saved your life before you killed yourself, but
Yeah.
he used you, bro.
Yeah, he gaslit you. Like he's like,
Yeah.
I save your life if you join my crusade.
Yeah, it's like, bruh.
I guess so.
Mhm.
Sure.
Okay, remember what I said about Oscar Isaac not signing another thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just reading about it. It says in November 2019, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige revealed that Moon Knight is set to appear in the future MCU films following his introduction to his Disney series. So basically, he's going to have his film. So what that rumor was, is just squash it, just squish it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is blending more
Yeah.
into the other MCU movies and universes. Like
Yeah.
even going into like how Tower Wet was saying that this is a afterlife, is
Mhm.
one of the ancestral planes, and there are
Mhm.
others that are so beautiful. It
Mhm.
opens the door to, is Moon Knight gonna be featured in Black Panther?
That would be cool,
It would be cool.
because it's both set in Africa. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So,
Oh, we've okay. Now we gotta get into what everybody's been waiting on. What has you hot and bothered? So I was talking to thanks for waiting, everybody.
I need some
We're
liquor.
pretty much through with the review. Um,
Uh-huh.
I was telling Tamara that some people from just documentaries I've seen don't think that Egypt is in Africa, and then when they finally say it is, they're like, oh, it's northern Africa, so it's not like real Africa. It's like up
Hold
there.
on a second. I wonder if I can, ouch. Uh, I'm gonna find a map,
Yes, Tamara.
and
Finally,
I'm gonna
yes.
see if I can
You want to
share.
share your screen? Yes,
Yeah,
Tamara.
I'm gonna share my
Right.
screen.
I'll describe for the audience, the
Oops.
audio audience.
I'm gonna share my screen.
Yes, Tamara. Yes, this
Okay.
is this is Tamara's rant.
Okay, can you see the screen?
Wait. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom in.
Okay.
Okay, where's my the button at? Like where is it at? It says Egypt, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, where is this? What is this continent?
Africa.
Yeah. Where's Egypt? And Africa. This is Asia, right? This is Africa. Egypt is in Africa, you dumb fucks. Okay, I'm stopping sharing. Okay, we're done.
No, we're not. What else you want to say, Tamara?
I just want to. It's kind of really hard to say this because I can't. I just can't. Um, some of these, some of these white folks, I could say, how can I say it? Some of these conservative white folks, I might as well say, not all of them, because I'm married to one. Some of them are just dumb. Now, if I go to my husband,
Mm-hmm.
conservative, and I ask him, babe, where's Africa? You know what he's gonna tell me?
Yeah.
I mean, not Africa. I'll be like, babe, where's Egypt? In
Yeah.
Africa. He's gonna tell me it's in Africa.
Yeah.
Now, why do you have stupid people saying that it's not in Africa?
I
When you clearly look on the map and you see it, you see it. So I just want to understand why you're so dumb. I just want to know. Just look at the map. Look at the map. What is near Liberia? Like,
Oh
look
God.
at
Yeah.
it. Look, where's Sudan in Africa? Egypt is in Africa,
It's right below Egypt,
right?
Sudan. Yeah.
Yes, Sudan is right below Egypt.
There's
It's in
Ethiopia.
Africa.
Yeah.
You see Saudi Arabia, it's not part of Africa. Come on, people. What do you have to be so dumb for?
Yeah, there we go,
It's
right
literally
there.
right there on the map. Egypt is in Africa.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. They say it's northern Africa, so it still had
It's still
European
Africa.
influence. The
No, it
Turkey's
is
up there, and then
Africa.
there's other
Hold on
stuff
a second.
up
I
there.
hear footsteps. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
Babe, come here.
Oh boy.
Come on the other side.
It's what John Henry signed up for.
I'm in the living room.
This is what John Henry has signed up for.
Yeah, this was my conservative husband something. Okay.
Why you gotta call me conservative?
Because you are one. Okay. Where's Egypt? What did you say? Say it louder.
Africa.
It's in Africa, right?
Yeah, northern.
Yeah.
Africa,
yeah. Do you know some people say Egypt is not in Africa?
Where is it at? Pluto? People are stupid. I'm sorry. I don't mean
okay.
It's okay. It's okay, babe. Go away. Love you too. I had to let him leave because he's like, I want to eat some Captain Crunch. But anyways, God damn.
So if I come and say it, will I get Captain Crunch?
You want some Captain Crunch too? Oh, all he thinks is about food, nothing else. He just
Oh gosh, but yeah, that was Tamara's rant that we were talking about earlier.
I just don't understand. Like, this is my thing. I don't understand stupid people, regardless if they're right or left. Why are you so dumb? Everybody know the map. Everybody knows the map.
Yes, look at
everybody knows about Africa.
Look at the map of Africa.
Yeah, look at the freaking map. If you know about the map of the United States,
Northern
you should look at the map of Africa.
Yeah.
That's where you're. No.
But Turkey's touching it. What? No.
It's not Turkey, you idiots. It's Africa. Okay, I'm good.
Oh goodness. Yeah, it was just like documentaries I seen where people said that
documentaries that should never been on Netflix or HBO Plus, documentaries that needs to be taken off because those people who are archaeologists don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. But okay, keep going.
That's Tamara's rant.
That's a good theme song.
That's what I was I had to open the show with so people know what was going on with us. Why Tamara is hot.
Yeah. I need more liquor.
Yes, so trigger words are don't say Captain Marvel around Tamara, and
No,
don't say that Egypt is not in Africa.
no, no. Don't be stupid. That's my
Oh
trigger. People
God.
being like so dumb. It's
Yeah.
just a shame. And I'm just like, we're surrounded by idiots. I just all of a sudden I turn into
Scar
Scar.
was right. Scar was right
Yeah.
the whole time. The
Yeah.
whole
I
time.
turn into Scar. I'm like, I'm surrounded by
I
idiots.
turned to Squidward. I thought I was SpongeBob.
I think a lot of people thought they were SpongeBob.
Yeah, I wanted to be SpongeBob, and now I'm Squidward.
No, we're Squidward. We're Squidward. I'm Squidward.
So,
Everybody's Squidward.
what is your what do you think is going to happen in episode 6?
I think that Mark will be able to come back to the normal world and he'd be able to save everybody and get all of their souls back to where they belong and put Amit where Amit belongs and also Arthur where he belongs. And Arthur should have a trial for what he did at the same time because he lied to the Egyptian gods, basically.
Mhm.
And maybe Khonshu might come out
Yeah.
and everything. I think all of those Egyptian gods that were sealed, I don't know. It'd be interesting if all of those come back. Not all like not the bad ones, but
Hmm.
the other ones that were wrongly accused, basically.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah. Actually, I think Arthur is on Mitt, basically.
No.
Because you remember he had
Oh,
Mitt.
I meant Avatar, you mean?
Yeah, Avatar. That's what I meant.
Oh, juicy.
Mhm. I wouldn't be surprised because a lot of those Egyptian gods have avatars, except
Yeah.
for Tamara, because she's in the underworld. But she might have. Wait a minute, that little girl from episode 1.
Yeah.
That's probably towards Avatar
How so?
because she asked Steven about the field of Reese.
Oh yeah. She was like, "Were you sad when you were rejected from the field of reeds?" And he's
Yeah.
like, "I'm not dead, am I? Am
Mm-hmm.
I?"
Yeah. See that
Hmm.
part. So that's prior to Warren that asked a question. That's the Avatar.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. That
I
makes
don't.
you
I don't know if I have any predictions for episode 6. Besides, everything will probably be tied up
Mm-hmm.
neatly in a
Mm-hmm.
sense. I think somehow maybe that scene that ended in season 5 with Mark in the field of reeds, maybe that
Mm-hmm.
will flip back to him being in with Harold,
Yeah.
and then I don't know, like you said, some kind of way that everything will be set right. Yeah,
Yeah. But the thing is that episode 6 is going to be longer now
yeah,
because they have to finish it up because I don't even think there's going to be additional episodes.
no, it's just 6.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's just like they have to put everything in 6 basically. And then all of a sudden we have to sit down and wait 2 years to watch the movie. I'm just over exaggerating about that because I don't think it's going to be 2 years. I think it's going to be a year, basically. So,
it'd be a good movie.
mm-hmm.
It'd be good representation from the the Jewish community and the Egyptian community,
Yeah,
in a sense.
I'm very happy they did that. Because the thing is that me personally, I feel like if you want to have representation in the comic books, use those specific characters and not change someone's what you call it, skin
Right?
tone,
Yeah.
race to have representation because again there's plenty of black people that in comics that you can have for representation. You don't have to just mainly use Blade or the main known black superheroes. There's plenty of them in the Marvel universe, so you can use those. So
Yeah. And we didn't know about Moon Knight, but they
yeah,
took a chance on that.
yeah, nobody knew about Moon Knight. So if you can take a chance with Moon Knight, you can take the chance with everybody else. Look at Luke Cage. That was like the best show ever. I enjoyed it.
Yes, Luke
I
Cage.
didn't know much about Luke Cage until that came out. And then when I saw it, I'm like, okay, now I want to know more about Luke Cage. And when I looked him up, I was like, oh, he was with Jessica Jones. So that's why they have Jessica Jones out. So you can't have Luke Cage without Jessica.
Yeah, sweet Christmas.
Yep, sweet
Yeah,
Christmas indeed.
sweet Christmas indeed. Hmm.
So yeah, but the thing is, it's like you can't have Moon Knight without the Defenders because he was part of it.
Hmm. Awesome. Yep,
Mhm.
that's good.
So just saying.
Just saying. All right, Tamara. Tell everybody where they can find us.
You can follow us on Facebook, with Two Blurred Girls podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram at Two Blurred Girls _podcast. You can follow us on, well, you can subscribe on YouTube as Two Blood Girls Podcast. You can follow us on Twitch on Two Blood Girls Podcast. This is like tongue twisting,
It's a
man.
theme. Yeah.
It's a theme, like it's
Yeah.
and also do your support of the people of Ukraine using the hashtag Stand with Ukraine. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And we also have an audio podcast, which we are on Apple.
Mm-hmm.
We are also on Google. So
Mm-hmm.
make sure you subscribe to all of the audio podcasts we're on.
Mm-hmm.
We're also on iHeartRadio.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Anchor. And we're also on Goodpods, which thanks to our followers on Goodpods. Thank you guys for following us and rating us on Goodpods. Continue to do so and tell your friends about our podcast as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're also on Amazon Music, and
Mm-hmm.
we are on Audible too, and many other places. And
Yeah.
Anchor. I said Anchor, right?
I think you did, yes.
Hold on, let me go back. We're also on Anchor.
Oh,
Any last words, Tamara? I
um,
mean, not in that sense, like, the ancestral plane sense, but for the show.
um, I think they should continue on with Moon Knight. Um, don't stop, and everything. I know there's a movie's gonna come out, but I'm just saying, just continue on with him and everything. So that'll be great.
Same actor too.
Yeah, you got to keep Oscar Isaac. Look, the thing is like, me personally,
Hmm.
I would never thought that you would see a handsome Hispanic man
Hmm.
like that. The only handsome Hispanic man I ever was from high school. But
Hmm. I know
you
you're
know
talking
exactly what I'm talking about. But when you see a handsome Hispanic man, it's just like, wow, he's very handsome.
about.
So
He is.
he's
Yeah.
very handsome. That's
Yeah.
all I could say. I love my husband with all my heart. So,
Yeah.
he has a
Yeah.
thing for Jennifer Lopez. I have a thing for Chris Hemsworth. So,
Interesting. You guys have things for Spanish.
well, Chris Evans is not Spanish. He's white.
Oh,
But
Chris Evans. Okay.
yeah.
Like Oscar Isaac. Well, you put like an Oscar Isaac cutout on his face, your husband's face, and you put a
He's too
J-Lo
tall.
cutout on your.
He's too tall and too pale, to be
Yeah, but
honest.
you'll be focused on the face, right? And then he'll be focused on your J-Lo face.
Yeah,
Cut
he
out.
probably can. He probably can. He probably can. I don't
I
know.
took it to a weird place. But anyway, yeah.
we might have to end up on the what you call it, where he's located. Marcus. We might end up there.
God. But anyway, thanks for joining us. Join us next Friday where we wrap up the show of Moon Knight with our
Mm-hmm.
review of episode 6, and we'll see if our predictions were correct.
I hope so.
I hope so too. And I just want to say, if there is a Moon Knight movie, I hope they keep the same director and they keep it authentic.
Yeah, they need to keep the same
Yeah.
director because you cannot. To me personally, I feel like if there's a movie about a certain nationality,
Yeah.
that's who should be directing it. That's just how I feel because they know that culture more than anything else. That's just how I feel.
I do too. and the way that the director or Oscar, whoever is in charge of the music, they're bringing these Egyptian artists
Mm-hmm.
to the forefront, introducing them to us is
Mm-hmm.
really amazing.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much about modern Egyptian music from watching Moon Knight.
Especially Egyptian rap. I'm like, oh damn.
I cannot wait for this soundtrack.
I
It's
know, right? They
off
need
the
to have it up
chain.
now.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm tired of Shazam in every episode. I'm like, hold on, Shazam. What? Who is this? Oh, okay.
Why do you have to say it like Dave Chappelle? Shazam.
Because I watched too much Dave Chappelle. That's probably why.
That would be so funny if he came out. I was like, Shazam.
Shazam. Maybe I should do that in a grocery store. Shazam!
Shazam.
What song is this? You know. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, we gotta go.
Okay, bye, y'all.
Bye.